You don't have to know how to make a movie. If you truly love cinema with all your heart and with enough passion, you can't help but make a good movie. You don't have to go to school. You don't have to know a lens, you know, a 40 and a 50 and all that shit, crossing the line. None of that shit's important. If you just truly love cinema with enough passion and you really love it, then you can't help but make a good movie.
I don't do commercial movies per se with the right quotes around it. I mean, I just do my own thing that interests me, and then end up developing a following that people actually support it. So the fact that I actually do it out of these crazy little ideas that I have that I write down is pretty cool. And the genres that I'm attracted to tend to be genres that deal freely in that kind of stuff. And that has to be done well, because if you don't do it well, then it actually has no effect. What I'm about is playing the audience. Like, I feel like I'm the orchestra conductor and the audience's reaction are my orchestra. And the sounds you make are my instruments, and your feelings are my instruments. And so it's like, I wanna, so it's like, laugh, 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 stop laughing. Stop laughing. Okay, now be horrified. Be horrified. This is horrible. This is horrible. This is horrible, horrible, horrible. Laugh. And that's what I want to do. That's what I get off doing. And to me, when someone does that to me, I've had a good time at the movies.
Before I ever made a movie, when I was thinking about the movies I wanted to make, one of the I don't even think I 100% knew what my aesthetic was then, but I knew I wanted to be part of this and I wanted to make a contribution. And the closest thing that I knew about what I wanted to do was, I remember thinking, I want to make movies that people will watch them and that will make them want to make movies.
Yeah, well, that worked.
And that actually ended up kind of working. And there was this neat aspect, and I think it started coinciding with with my career and the rise of the independent film movement in general in the 90s. That there was this aspect that I actually think that young people were, in decades earlier, they might have picked up a guitar and started a garage band. They actually felt that they could express themselves more by trying to make a movie.
Yeah.
And I think that ended up kind of happening to some degree or another.
Actually got first credit position on Natural Born Killers if I had allowed it. But I was so pissed off that they rewrote my work. I believe in integrity, and I did not want I didn't care about the residuals or any of that stuff. God forbid anyone thought that was my screenplay.
And you feel you made that clear? That was absolutely
Well, and then not only that, I attacked Oliver Stone in the press. How dare you rewrite my shit? Well, that's standard Hollywood practice. Hollywood practice. You don't do that to me. You know? But the whole point, we've actually made it up since then, but the whole point, though...
That must have been a conversation.
No, it went a long time. It went for a long time, all right? We got drunk together, and it was fine, all right? But the point, I wanted all of Hollywood to know, do not buy Quentin's script unless you're gonna do it. If you bring another writer, I'm gonna attack you. I like jumping off from the idea of, like, you take a big genre, like, say, Westerns, or you take a genre like war films, and that's a huge genre, because, and it's not just Westerns, or not just war films. There's a bunch of subgenres inside of those. And that's what I like the most, are subgenres. And then bouncing a bunch of those off of each other. And the thing is, I never want to play them, never playing them straight. I always want to transcend them. I just want to use them as a jumping off point to do something else. But I don't want them to be an art, some pretentious artistic art film meditation on the genre. I want to go and do it my own way. And so I want to give you the same pleasures, but kind of go to a different drummer. Hence, Reservoir Dogs is a heist film where you never see the heist. Inglourious Bastards, the genre I was starting off working with was a bunch of guys on a mission movie. And it kind of is that, but it's beyond that. There's other things involved.
Long as I don't Google my name, then it's just you're mentioning it right now and I can slough it off.
Right.
If I
make myself read every single article, then I'll get heartsick. I got I started working at this video store, was pretty much what you're talking about around that time. And it was great at first, because I'd always hated day jobs and stuff, and so I got a day job, and it ended up being pretty good. But admittedly, I was there for 5 years. At a certain point, it was a narcotic, all right? I didn't have to keep pursuing my dreams, because, you know, it's not what I want to do, but it's sort of kind of close. And if I didn't have an artist soul burning in me, I could have made myself happy with that. I could, if I didn't have an artist soul burning to get out, I could have, you know, walked backwards a couple steps and just done that. And that would have been a fulfilling, well, to anybody else, it would have been a fulfilling life. It wouldn't have been for me, because I would have known I would have had something to say that I didn't get a chance to say. But it did put me to sleep for a while. And I've always just thought, I mean, what really got everything kind of truly going for me, you could point out a lot of different things, but the bottom line is the fact that I realized that even the group of people I hung around with, they were all great fellas and great gals. But, you know, it was easy for me to think that I was doing a lot because I was doing more to try to move myself forward than they were. But, you know, that's not, okay, I'm a big fish in a puddle. So what, all right? They're not doing anything, all right? So yeah, I'm doing more than them. But I realized that actually I need to get my ass out to Hollywood and meet other people who are, you know, like in my category or working a little higher, and I should be the weakest link in my chain that I have, and that'll make me be stronger, it'll make me run faster. I mean, like an analogy I've always used is, all right, if you run the 100-yard dash with people that can't run as fast as you, yeah, you'll win, hands down, you know that. But if you run with people much faster than you, all right, yeah, you might come in last every single time, but your time will be better, because they're making you run all the faster. They're making you dig down just a little bit more. It doesn't matter that you won, your time is faster. And that's what I knew I had to do. I had to get out of Loserville and throw myself into a place where, like, this is what the do for a living. From time to time, do you make a movie with an audience in mind?
Yeah.
And my answer is yes, I do. Right. All right, but the audience I have in mind isn't some faceless blobs that I'm trying to second guess.
Right.
All right?
Right.
It's me.
It's not like a focus group.
Yeah, it's me. I'm the audience. I'm the guy that goes out and pays $7 or $8 in New York, you know, to go and see a movie. All right, I go, so if I'm excited about seeing a movie, I see it on opening day. All right, I am the audience. Yes. All right, and I know what I want to see, you know. And I was betting, and I was a little surprised at how many there were. I was betting that there are other people like me out there. All right, now, true, I'm making specific films. And if you make a specific film, that's not everything for everybody. You're going to turn some people off, all right? But you're going to turn some people on, too. I'm going to do one of the greatest car chases of all time. And if I don't, I'm not as talented as I thought I was. And I will realize that there is a ceiling to my talent. Right now, I don't think there is, but if I don't do... But if it's not one of the greatest car chases of all time, then I failed, and there is a ceiling to my talent. I'm not as good as I thought I was. And I said that to everybody. And was I scared? Yeah, all right? I had trepidation going all the way, because it's mine to fail. And it's failing in front of the mirror, too, because I'll know if I did it or not, and I'll be like, okay, yeah, you are not as good as you thought you were. And that got me to Mount Everest. If you get the passion to do it, and you do it, and it doesn't like work out, I worked got 3 years on a 16mm film that ended up becoming nothing but guitar picks. And I was very disappointed when I realized it wasn't any good, but it was my film school, all right? And I actually got away really cheap. When it was all over, I knew how to make a movie. And I didn't want to show anybody that, but I had the experience. I had it a lot cheaper than I would have gone if I'd gone to film school. If you're really going to be an artist with your own voice and you want to do different things and try, you know, not the standard thing, then, you know, the biggest balancing act you have to pull isn't really even being a good filmmaker. We'll just say that you have that, is that balancing act between sticking to your vision, sticking to your voice, but not being some asshole who could only hear the sound of his own voice. You know, and that's, I mean, it's all right there.
That's it. You got to be able to listen to people. You got to be able to hear what they're saying, but you also can't just, when the going gets tough, not give up on your vision.